welcome once again to Culture Cove right here on Huge Network. As always, we're here to preserve culture, talk about arts, and also take a look at what's happening around the world, spotlighting some of these cultures you might not have heard about, and also the events going on around the world. It's a pleasure to have you once again. I am Amadin Ogbewe. Today, I have a special cast of companions right here to do justice to a number of issues. So I'll start with introductions from my close left. I have Sifu Patrick Light. I want to do the.
Meow.
Is it like this? Oh, it's like this. All right.
Yes.
There's another word you use.
Ni hao.
Sifu. Another word.
Okay. Laoshi.
Laoshi Patrick Light.
Yes.
So when I do this, do I have to say something?
No, you just say Sifu.
Sifu.
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm a student now, right?
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. So I'm sure you're hearing Paul already with the Sifu and what does ni hao mean? What do you think you're saying?
Hello, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
You see?
you got it.
You see?
Full marks for you. Anyway, so we also have Paul Oladipupo right here, we'll
As
do it here.
always.
And right in the middle, we have a very special guest, the president of the Artists Association of Nigeria, Society of Nigerian Artists, pardon me, Mohammed Sulaiman. Welcome. It's good to have you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. So, as always, we have a number of segments on the program. We take a look at some of the things Huge Network has been up and about in recent times, what we've seen. And then we take a look at arts, entertainment, fashion, whatever may be happening across the world. And finally, we spotlight a specific culture. So we'll start now with our very first segment. The other day or some weeks back, Huge Network visited the Chinese Cultural Center in Nigeria on the occasion of International Women's Day. And there was the promotion of arts and culture as a way to empower women. So let's take a look at that report now and let's see what it was all about. We'll be right back. At a vibrant cultural event hosted by the Chinese Embassy in Abuja, art and literature took the spotlight as powerful tools for connection, creativity, and empowerment. While the occasion marked International Women's Day 2025, the heart of the gathering was the celebration of cultural expression and its role in shaping society. Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Yu Dunhai, emphasized the importance of literature in fostering deeper appreciation for both Chinese and Nigerian art. He noted that the creative sector holds significant potential for cross-cultural growth and economic success.
I think particularly when it comes to culture and literature, I think this is the area that female and women has a particular advantage. During the event, we have held that we have noticed that there are a lot of Nobel laureates, particularly female and women Nobel Prize laureates in art, in culture, in literature, and also we have very pleased to have us with us today, Mami Nike, which is a very renowned artist in Nigeria. So I think art, culture is an enabler for women, to achieve its success.
Famous Nigerian artist and founder of the Nike Art Gallery, Chief Nike Davis Okundaye, shared inspiring stories from her mentoring journey. While commenting on Nigerian art, she singled out a captivating piece by Njideka Akunyili Crosby, now valued in millions, as an example of how art can inspire generations, and proving that art is not only a form of expression, but also a viable economic venture.
What women can really achieve is for them to focus. There is a lady whose work is selling for $3.4 million. Njideka Akunyele. You can Google her. It's a Nigerian woman and is into art. Art is very powerful and art is life. I want more and more women to go into the art because that is where the money is. So we have 4 centers and these people, we just bring few of them. We have the youth of tomorrow and Nigeria belongs to the youth. And that is why we are very proud of you people for what you are doing. So continue, nobody can package us like ourselves. So continue, we need the media.
Also speaking to Hude Network was Rabi Zubairu, a student at China Cultural Center, who reflected on the unifying power of art and culture.
I think it brings us together. It unifies the world. The world is a global village today. So yeah, culture brings everyone together. We come in and share in each other's culture. I think that's a great thing.
While the event acknowledged the contributions of women through the lens of culture, its core message was clear. Art and culture continue to be dynamic forces for dialogue, development, and unity across nations. Let this celebration serve as a reminder to keep investing in cultural exchange, not just as tradition, but as a bridge to a more connected and compassionate future. Well, I think that was a very interesting one there. We started out with the Chinese rendition of the song, and I wish I knew the words. It's a very catchy tune, and then we're ending with this one, which was the blend of different cultures combining. So let's start with you, Mohammed. What do you say about this? I mean, I believe we even met the first time at one of these events that happened at Chinese Cultural Center. So what would you say about arts and culture, the intersection with women empowerment, and all we're seeing?
Oh, well, thank you. I would say, incidentally, China is one nation that has invested so much into Nigeria's culture also. If you see what it has been doing with every March 8 over the past 10, 14 years in Nigeria, is that it has continued to identify with women in professions, so to say. It has done Chingeria, which is China, Nigeria. So what that was basically fashion of the peoples of, say, China and Nigeria. There you find the Chinese wearing Nigerian attires and then adorn themselves and try to go that way. And then you also find Nigeria in Chinese costumes. So it spanned for too many spaces there, because from one, when the Tibetan culture was introduced by the Chinese troop that came in from Tibet. And then you also had the one that came in from Wuhan at a point. So I say at different times, they continued to introduce very, very bright ideas to what our system is. And they have done as far as maybe training also Nigerian dancers and costumiers, and even those that do a lot within the spectre there. So what it means is that we have a China-Nigeria relations that is designed to not just grow, but to introduce the citizens of Nigeria into a culture of investing into, say, the fabrics that form for those ideas there. Because, by the way, it's a $22 billion investment in that area. So if you see what trade is doing, so you should just know that when you have a population like that and it is partnering with you, you have nothing other than to say, think well about it. You have about the largest Black population in the world. So you need to align with a group that directly looks at this. I stay in China. I had my exhibition there. And I was at the Nigerian Academy of Painting and Calligraphy. I've done a lot of inroad tour. But the most exciting part for me was, the one that we have in Beijing, Shanlintun, which is our own cultural center also in Beijing. So that pulls the excitement for me too much, knowing that I'm always at home when it is in China, honestly.
I mean, I got so much on that particular day, and it was so fun for me. That's where I got the ni hao from, and now I think that's the only thing I can say so far now in Chinese. But regardless, it was so much of how the culture was for me. I think I've always watched Chinese movies while growing up, and for me now meeting people, exactly a lot of kind of movies. I mean, and now I'm literally like getting to know the people there. It was so fun. It was very interesting for me. I ensured that I met one or two people. I really can't remember their name now, funny enough. But one of the things that the ambassador said that really caught my attention was the fact that in China, right, they see women as water, and really, literally, water is life. Basically, like there's nothing you want to do in life that you don't need water for. And then while men, on the other hand, are like clay, and then it is the water that molds the clay and shapes the clay, and it just shows how we as men can survive without women, and also they also can. I won't say they can't survive, but then we need ourselves to survive. Basically, it's more like I need you and you need me kind of situation, and it's really interesting for me. So, so for you, really, like, what is China to?
Okay, I think I should start from here.
Okay.
From this,
China with you.
This
exactly.
This is Chinese fun.
Yeah.
This is one of their culture, and they cherish it so much. It's also a weapon as well. But here is that's the ones that has
the spikes.
sharp objects here for you to protect yourself. So yes. You need to practice before you can be able to spread it this way. You understand? So it's one of the weapons, and we use it for scoring as well.
Scoring?
Yeah, when we go for competitions. Yeah. So this is the main one you can use. Then, if you want me to unveil here, I think you have a sword here. The sword here is just... this is called Nandao. Dao means sword. Dao means sword. So Nandao is a sword that they use this sword during their war.
Okay.
So now it has been converted for war. That's why it's flexible. So we use it to do a special demonstration based on this sword. You understand? So
do you need to be a black belt to hold it?
No, you don't need.
So can I?
You have.
Okay, but
I had to ask before, I don't want to
for
commit
me,
any.
I know that usually swordmen usually have a name for their sword. So do you have a name that you name your own sword? Does it have a special name, or you just? Or you're not a Christian
No,
yet?
he can give one to it.
Exactly.
Because he's thinking about it.
No. I'm not even thinking. That's why I didn't tell you the name of this sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have the broad sword, which we call.
No, we're talking about personalized names.
Yeah,
Personalized.
like
Okay,
personalized.
personalized. I did not even give it a name yet.
I think she
you
looks
should.
like Kana Kaite.
I think you should. Like, you should give
Before
it a name.
Dao should be your name.
Exactly.
I should say Lights Dao.
Lights
down.
down. Lights down. I was thinking something more
very
indigenous, but that works too, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I can use Inyang Dao. That is indigenous. Inyang is my cultural
All
name.
right.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Inyan
I love that. Inyan Dao.
Yes.
I mean, Culture Cove has got something. The naming of Inyan Dao.
Exactly.
You saw it here live.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you have more. All right.
Yeah, this is.
Interesting.
Those days you watch, how they call him?
Okay, Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
Non-charcoal.
This non-charcoal.
Non-charcoal.
It's
Yeah, but we
non-charcoal.
won't be able to use that
These
here.
3 sets.
But
No, we are
okay,
not
because
using
I was
it.
about asking that because it's usually in 2 sets.
Yes,
where
we
you
have
could-
2 sets. Then we have this with 3 sets.
Interesting.
And you need to practice it enough before you can be able to use it. If not, you use it to flog yourself.
Yeah, I know, right?
Enough.
Even
Most
in the
ladies
movies,
too.
Yeah.
even in the movies, they use it to plug themselves at some point.
Before
yes.
you know it under practice, you smash your head. So
I think this is all part of the cultural exchange we're talking about here.
Yes.
Having access to this.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on how this relates to women empowerment? And there was something Chief Nike said. She said, "We want more women to get in because that's where the money is."
Exactly.
So what do you think about all of that? The blending of cultures.
yes, if I should talk about blending of cultures, our ladies should practice martial art for self-defense. Our nation today is so slippery. So many things are happening, raping, kidnapping. Or for example, if they should kidnap 3 or 5 ladies are well trained, and then 2 or those 3 of them know themselves very well, and then they put somebody to guide them with only one gun, the person is gone. They will escape.
That's interesting.
Yes, they will escape. They'll find a solution to collect the gun. Because when we're there studying is that, this is on air, I don't want to air some certain things.
Please, so that they can learn at
Yes,
home and
please.
defend themselves.
Okay, say first thing we see, if they point you a gun, the first thing we look at is the finger at the trigger. So if I lift my hands are on your eyes, but I'm targeting the fingers, but sometimes it's only resting on the trigger. You never press. So my coming closer to you, I'm targeting when you will press that trigger to collect that gun from you, and they do something special.
I would like to put a disclaimer out there that you need to
Don't try it at home
you
in
need to
school
have
anyway.
the full training before you go out there and think
Exactly.
that this little snippet is enough for you. You are not a master. You're not a master, please. But at that aside, it's interesting, really. You know,
Yes.
these are the things that go through your mind as a martial artist.
As a martial artist, yes. And any woman, when ladies come into the martial, I have them so that are training. We are preparing for the National Sport Festival coming up next month.
Interesting.
Okay, yes. I have ladies that can fight very well. They can pass it, you will not know. They dress normal, but you can't deal with them. So, but we have them few. Our ladies are lacking sports, apart from martial art itself. You need to find a way to tell them this, you are benefit on it, or parents push them in. But now, thank God, I teach in schools. We go to private schools, Muslim schools. I have about 3 or 4, while other of my coaches also have, that we started bringing them up at the tender age. This is what the Chinese people do as well.
Indeed, that's amazing. So, Mohammed, just a moment before we go, he's spoken about martial arts, you know, all of that. I think Chief Nike was referring specifically to paintings and all of that. So how do you see women being able to have a strong foothold in that aspect? And I should add, I said this before we started, so I want to say it on air as well. The other day, a fan of yours was actually on her here, and she said she's being inspired to begin to paint, to try and attempt because of your paintings and what she's seen you do. So I just want you to know already, you know, you're already inspiring the female gender.
Exactly.
So I just want to hear more.
Yeah, basically what the art scene in Nigeria actually has now is that there is a lot of, say, participating women in that sector. And if you look at the ministry itself that covers for art, culture, creative economy, at the ministry you have about 3 directors general who are all female, and then with about 4 of them even, and then with just 2 male there. So they are solidly there in that space. And then if you look at the practice also, those that are practicing, besides the Akonye that she mentioned, even locally here in Nigeria, we have seen that the women in art almost internationalize as fast as possible, far faster than the men would. And that is because I think women have also looked at other spaces and to say, we're not going to sit down again like we've always done. So they have been moving. But on her own part, if you look at the history, what is behind her, in all of the years that she spent in the US and coming back here and doing textiles and beginning to own gallery space and beginning to own much, much larger spaces, she automatically built herself, and she's already an icon in the art in Nigeria. Not just for the gele or the hairstyle that you see. So the woman in space, anybody that wants to be in the art, like that space there, 3 things, which is also very much available to women: originality and how very creative you are, and how much you occupy the space that you're supposed to actually occupy. And occupying that space means that you come in with your skills and then the marketing strategies for all of that. So I was laughing when she said, because there's a lot of money in it. And then I was like, if the money is there, all men should just delve inside that place there because we won't let the women have it alone. So that was more like it. And then that was a very nice note. But I think women in art in Nigeria are doing so very well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. That's our round of this segment now. We'll go on a break. When you return, we'll still be here with, what did we christen her just now? What was the name? Inyan Dao. When you return, Inyan Dao will still be here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Keep watching.
Please keep watching Culture
Cove on Hued Network.
All right, so welcome back. This is still Culture Cove reaching you right here on Hued Network. We have been talking about different things, martial arts, art, how women can be involved, what it does generally for nations in terms of development and all of that. And right now we're delving into our second segment of the program where we take a look at the arts section, movies, music, fashion, and the likes. Paul, what do you have for us today?
Well, today we're not talking about something so different, but we're going to be on fashion actually, but how fashion and also culture is being merged together. Just in April, right, there was this lovely fashion beauty pageant basically for Miss World Nigeria, and the winner is expected to go down to India sometimes in May to go and also compete with about 102 others as well for the title, for the 72nd title of the Miss World, and it's going to be an amazing one, I must say. But regardless, we had different, about 27 of them contesting together for just one crown, and it was really amazing. And there was a segment where they all had to come out portraying a particular culture, and it was literally amazing. And all of these ladies literally slayed all of these outfits so much. I mean, this was the best dress. This is Miss Abia State, and this is Deborah, with so much, this is like palm tree, and then you can see the gag for the palm wine and all of that. Exactly, the cowries. Exactly. For me, I love this dress so much because of the detailing of the dress. Like the beading, it's so much of details that are just put into this particular clothes. So I want to have your thoughts on this particular dress that she's wearing, Miss Abia. Yes,
the floor is open.
Oh, okay.
Yes, first for you.
Yeah, if I would say, I think it's a drift, I would say, in the right direction for too many reasons.
Okay.
You see, when you travel out of Nigeria, you go to, say, South America. The South Americans are trying to be so much original as Africans, and where we are trying to, be much more Westerners.
Yeah.
So in this, I see too many applications that actually represent us. There's what they call the Emancipation Day in Trinidad, where almost every citizen of, say, Trinidad and Tobago come in our own attires. And God save you that you're wearing suit and you appear on that day, you feel too embarrassed. So, but what I saw from this, the first shot is, when they design, they build their carnival kings and queens.
Yes.
This is how they come in, because they are larger than life. And then the elegance is so everything is outlandish. They just over-exaggerate every space that you see. I think this on a growth level, we also saw them doing Abuja Carnival, a lot of this for the Carnival King and Queens. So I think it's an extension of that. If we can begin to define the space for what beauty is on a very cultural note, I think the mileage is on our hands.
Well, let's take a look at the next one.
So let's take a look at the next one quickly. I think the next one should be from Miss Ogun, and that one also, she had several representation of a culture as well, embedding Olumo rock inside. There's this thing that the Adire, exactly, and on the Adire you have Ofada rice written on it. That's the Olumo rock printed right there, and then you have Ofada rice written on the.
That raises questions though. Is Ofada rice native to?
Yes, it is. And also, one more thing, on our fan, you can see the Ojude festival.
yeah.
That's one festival that Ogun State is known for, and
Yeah.
like
It's a major one in the Southwest.
It's a very major festival in the Southwest. I'm really looking forward to this year's one, literally. But this is the final look of Miss Ogun, exactly, and it's a lovely dress as well. So yeah, your thoughts on it, Patrick?
Yeah, you see, when you talk about culture, it's something we really have to embrace, just like he has said it all. You see, when you travel out, even in China, they don't joke with their culture, the dressing and the way they go about it. This is really magnificent.
Exactly.
Yes. And we should really embrace culture. It's really something that has more or less than discipline attached to it. Because with culture, you cannot be, if you are not disciplined, you will not practice your culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed.
Because it has a lot of disciplines for you to overcome the current dressing and system. So this is very fine.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Yes.
For me, I actually love the painting of Olumo Rock there so much. And funny enough, I've never been to Olumo Rock. Funny enough, like for some very
I've heard stories.
Yeah, I've heard so much stories about
Zuma Rock.
I've heard stories about Olumo Rock, but
and
I've never been there. But
I know stories only for me. Those stories only excites me. People think it's meant to scare you of there are spirits there.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I mean, I haven't seen a spirit before, but it's fine. We'll see what happens with that. Do you have any more?
Yeah, so we have one more from the winner herself. That's Joy Raimi, where she represented.
What state did she represent?
Osun State. I didn't want to take all of the glory. Really,
Please take it.
He's very biased.
Just take it.
I'm from Osun State, and I'm proud to tell you.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I'm proud to tell you all that Joy Raimi Mojisola, the winner of the Miss World Nigeria.
This is a complete tradition.
Exactly, and this is like more like the costume of a warrior, a beauty queen who's also a warrior, and you could see her costume so much. Like it's giving. Let's go. Where's the war happening? And I really want her to conquer. Come December 2nd, Miss World Nigeria, and we could see all of the details as well. Yeah, several marks on the face. There was one picture where we could see the knife as well. It's really so amazing to see. I think the one way she was on stage, see her holding a knife right there, exactly. And it's just so amazing, and also the look as well.
You know, what strikes me, and I'd like to hear from you, Mohammed, is I feel like I'm seeing just art. So when it comes to fashion, is it the same mind we look at it, when we see something oil on canvas and then we see something like this, does it count as, in the same vein?
Yeah, it would have, but in a different, on a different phase entirely. First, let me say that this is very, very impressive on two notes. That the composition that has made her for who she is. It's a combination of raffia. There is also what you have as fiberglass there. You still have a lot of cowries, and you have the textiles also redefining themselves also under there. And what cowries are doing there are so very, very explicit because they are well placed at the right places that they're supposed to be. So the balancing is that from the wrist to the elbow to the shoulders. And so she's made sure that is all covered. And what it means for whatever it means actually say wealth. Because from the onset, that is being the beginning of it. And then if you check on the lower part again, she has done something that I was going to complain about earlier. That in Nigeria, when you bring out textiles, they want to talk about ashoke, for instance. It is still woven as heavy, but she has gotten it lighter on her body here. So she's able to carry this. So if Nigerians can actually take the woven fabric into print like the Ghanaians have done with Kente, that would be so very nice. And then the raffia things and then the straws that she has gathered all around her hands, they are so very light enough. But the most impressive part in this lady is the look.
Exactly.
I tell you, she is stern.
She's fierce.
By no means like coming out just to contest. But to say there is a confidence thing in her, and knowing that I'm happy for you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Right,
she
me.
won this,
Yeah.
and then for the knife that she's had on the side,
Yeah.
this is an epitome of, say, one heavy cultural, say, value, and the cultural traditions are very well there.
Basically, we have a very strong contender going to represent us in India, right?
I hope the world
India.
understands what she's coming
Okay.
with. Anyway.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, this is really what makes you the president of the art.
I was going to say that's very artistic.
Like,
an artistic
exactly, like it was a
perspective.
different perspective.
It
And
has
like,
been defined already
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Yes, when I was looking at it, I said the cowries represent our words.
Yes.
I thought you were going to comment on the knife.
Then
I was looking at that and I felt like
yes, I want to say something about the knife. The nice thing about a warrior,
Mm.
you cannot handle a knife if you cannot use the knife.
Mm.
Can't handle the knife, you cannot use the knife.
Indeed.
That's very
We'll keep
philosophical.
that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Anyway.
I also want to mention the fact that you mentioned Ashoke, because I actually have one right now that I'm actually looking at it like, how do I use it? Because it's very heavy and it's like it's not something you can sew into something else. In fact, those that have sewn it before me right now, they are regretting sewing the clothes at the moment, right? So how can we now?
But I have a solution for you before
Yes.
you go into
Yes.
that. You just have to pay some consultant to Mohammed.
Oh, really?
And he'll get something for you, you know.
Okay, no problem.
consult for you and all of that.
Yes.
But you were saying something. Is this sustainable?
Yeah, so yes, how can we take it from what it is now, being heavy and all of that, so having more light things, just like you said that Ghana did?
Yeah, I think we're very comfortable with who we are, where we've been. We don't think there's any reason to like move forward.
Yeah.
It's like the tie-dye until the Chinese came and picked it and started printing it again. Then we started complaining. So now what it is that for any dress to fit into the international systems, you have to make sure that it goes for the seasons. There is summer, there's winter, so that very thick one that you're talking about can very well fit for like the winter season, or even if you say early spring or so. So, but now when you're talking summer, and it's very hot here, and somebody is wearing a showcase, it's like the same person wearing a suit here. You want to laugh at the person all tied up like this and this, and then there's no air conditioning. So the solution to that actually is for not to have very heavy dress. So you have to deliberately create fabrics for the summer. Where you have a lot of participation. The Ghanaians have been able to do something I say with Kente. But where we are right now, we need to understand that these Ashoke designs are so very, very unique to us. That if we look at designing it again and we take them for screen printing, or even you just want to say take it to the textile houses, instead of just saying that all they want to do every time is Ankara, you can actually take Ashoke inside there and you print on very light fabric, like the Gaskia text. If you're able to do that, honestly, you would have solved a lot of problems. And do not just look at it as a fabric for just wearing at all times. And then not also that they must be traditional. You can take the very suit itself and rearrange yourself and make it lighter. So those fabrics actually go for that. And there are too many areas you can go with.
All right, that's amazing. Thanks so much for that. And I think, like you said, sometimes when we look at things, we feel like there might not be a need for change yet. I mean, I know, I'm not wearing it today, but in Benin, we have our beads, then they'll say the beads from the palace. Those ones are heavier always, but you have the ones that are more like props that everyone has. So we say if it's not heavy, if it's not weighing you down, it's
I
not,
know, right?
So sometimes there's that aspect, but I guess it's the balance we're talking about.
No, I think that's why you find people with longer hands because the weight keeps going. We must let culture rest a little bit sometimes.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for that. We'll go on a break now. When we return, we'll delve into a spotlight of a specific culture or cultural practice, and that's how we round up the program. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Keep watching
Please keep watching Culture
Culture Cove on Hued Network.
So welcome back. Now we are in our final segment of the program where we spotlight a particular cultural practice or culture. And today we're talking about the Manene tradition. So the Manene tradition is something practiced by the Tanah Toraja in Indonesia. And basically it entails the way they see death. They see death as just the next step in your spiritual journey. So when people die, they are not treated as gone. They are treated more like they are sick, because you find a lot of families, not all Tana Torajans practice this, but it is happening majorly in that region. So you see a granddad who has passed on, you don't just put him in the ground like always. He's in the sitting room or somewhere, they've embalmed him and they give him food, drinks, and all of that as though he's still living. And the reason part of this is that they believe they have to treat their dead very well, otherwise they will be angry and, they could torment them. I recall one particular time Torajan said that their dead ones communicate to them through dreams. So when they, are hungry or they need more of this juice or that, they provide it for them the next day so that things can be calm. And then these bodies are kept there for a long while, because part of the reason why they are kept there is that the funeral rites, it costs a whole lot. They believe they have to kill a buffalo and other animals. And it's seen as though the buffalo is meant to basically transport the spirits to the next phase. So, I mean, you don't want to be that family who could not give your loved one a buffalo to ride. They need to get to where they are going. So sometimes they take all of this time planning and, trying to raise funds so that they can use that to eventually get their loved ones the very sort of expensive funeral rites. But then the Manini tradition itself is when they occasionally, periodically, usually every August, go back to some of these bodies and then exhume them and basically treat them well, clean them, bathe them, give them things. Sometimes we have them being given cigarettes or being given other sorts of things, to basically treat them
They
well.
literally adorn them, basically.
Indeed.
They have them with, for some, they wear glasses for them, change their clothes, give them several things. For some, they still have hair as well. For some of the dead bodies that still have hair, they comb their hair, leave a comb in their casket. When see this man now is combing the hair of his. It's for me, it's really amazing. I know that in my own culture, for example, now it's more like let the dead be dead and let the living be living, basically. And so it's a new light to what being dead means, literally. And I love the connection, being able to do that as well. I mean, I remember the first time I saw a dead body during a burial, and then I touched it. I literally ran away then, because I was so scared. But it's really amazing to see that they can still connect to their loved ones in this special way, even after their passing.
Yeah. So I mean, this is culture. So you don't always have to understand it. But,
exactly.
So I just want to get your initial reactions, Mohammed. What do you see here? What's your gut reaction when you see such a culture exists, the Manini tradition?
I think I've heard a lot from the past. So it's not completely shocking, because even in South America, there are people that bury their own dead, layer after layer. So they just keep them there. And then, they keep coming back again to even wherever they travel to around the world, they still come back and pay homage at the place there. But the one thing I understand that as for the Indonesians here that are here, from that very culture, what they're saying is that until you have also already reached that milestone to getting the burial rites right before you can now pick up and bury. But then, as much as we look at it and so very strange, in Nigeria there are people that keep bodies and they keep them for a very long time too. And then until the advent of even the mortuaries and that, there are people that actually sleep with their dead also. So, and then also advent of religion, Christianity and Islam. So people try to cut down. But it's not going to be a strange thing for you to find out that it happens. But what I think we should take home with us is every dead body, they say after about 3 days, it's already swollen and then it's going to burst out again and it's going to it seems like they have been able to take care of that aspect there.
Yes, they do
it's
have
like
preservatives.
mummification that the Egyptians will do.
Yes,
and if
indeed.
they do so, I think it's a cause for study to learn, not for us to preserve bodies after death, but to also say, yes, we'll be able to keep certain things for study. Like over there, we look at it, but if you give it to us now, Nigerians, originally, I mean, on a very cultural level, they will say, "Oh, look at those evil people."
Exactly.
So we're quick to dismiss where you're supposed to learn from.
Yeah.
But I think on a plus level, I think I'm not saying that they're doing very, very great, but they're doing wonderfully well because it's their cultural tradition.
Yes.
And there's no how you want to look at someone's own ideas about things and want to condemn. And then if you go like reading through it also, it's like the departure about of any person from Earth. And they still see the need to keep and to even feed milk and all of that to the person.
Even grooming.
Yes. And then like the part I saw even as far as combing the hair. But you want to ask, some people will say the hairs fall off. So you actually know you have hints to the afterlife thing also. And we believe too in some cultures here that the spirits fly to another realm. They don't just go to heaven. Some say that they drop at certain level. But then the spirits of this, I don't know where they are particularly, but it means that they are not afraid of the afterlife. They live even with the dead side by side. And then they are part of so maybe they never want to part. Maybe they don't want to do this. But here, the ancestors come after us and we run away because they come chasing in the night. So ours only come in the night, so we run.
Actually, we need to ask them about that. If we can work out a different arrangement. So what do you have to say about this, Sifu Patrick?
This is really terrifying if I should use that word. How can you just keep dead body? This is not my first time of seeing it. Each time I go to make research about their kind of lifestyle, I was, wow. Then I wake up and open door and see the dead bodies there. Man, just like what he said. We keep running away. But that's why it's a very unique culture. It's very, very unique. But then, how long would they keep preserving dead body?
The body, exactly.
Before the world, maybe 2000, everywhere will be dead bodies. You can see that.
I think it's a cultural thing that's affecting us as Black people.
Yes.
To start with, we don't actually go into taking further steps at other things. It's like seeing a Black man on a tightrope. I can swear by God that he's only wearing that skin. He must be a white man. It's like when they're doing skydiving and the rest. They say there are 3 Black men. I'm like, okay, they probably are half castes. And then they also.
Or the Black man is the pilot.
Yes.
We're very danger averse.
Yes.
Like we just prepare to stay up.
Me inclusive. Like when I go too high anywhere, I'm like. The thoughts that come to my mind. What if this thing falls?
Exactly.
So we are not risk takers, or we are not people that experiment so much on the other levels. But as for this, even you'll be shocked that there are people that have gone into the extreme, even on this level.
Yes.
So I was like, because when we were small, they scare us with this mommy water thing, and so we never go near water at all.
And ghosts.
Yes, so too many of that. So we need actually a break into other cultural traditions. So we'll be able to adopt some of the things to learn from. Like, I don't know why we get too scared of experimenting.
But
I'm not saying this particularly.
Even other things.
You're talking about general.
There are needs, because that when they're building your bridges, mostly white people on it.
I think one thing that kept us to this level we are is because of culture. Tradition. Is that tradition?
Cultural tradition.
No,
religion.
Christian, Islamic. So we have embraced it. That now has already caged us not to expand ourselves to other knowledges. For us to study like this kind of culture, there are many things we're supposed to exploit to know in order for us to expand our mindsets. You see, today, the only thing we can only understand, we pick out now for is that, the social media has come in. And you can see that we are afraid to die, but we are not afraid to do, how they call it, Yahoo.
Yeah.
You understand? But now, this is a culture, and these people are already used to it. They are not afraid. But like what he is saying, if we can go to know, how do you preserve these bodies? Okay. How do you relate to them that they did not even kill you?
Exactly.
You understand? Like last 2 weeks, I just came back from crossover to bury my mom. But when we get to the mortuary, I actually did not get fear, did not grieve me. I was skeptical. I went into the room, I said, dead bodies. I stood, I said, good morning. The mortuary attendant said, who are you greeting? I said, I'm greeting them. I did a video for it. I said, I'm greeting them. They said, they can't answer you. I said, then why? They should have been, someone should answer me. They said, this is your mom. I said, okay, yes, she cannot talk. So why is it that we do some certain things that we are afraid of? Or you kill somebody because you want to achieve something. But you're not afraid to kill somebody.
But you're afraid to die.
But you're afraid to die.
In the immortal words of, I think, Tubaba, everybody want go heaven, but
Yes,
nobody want die.
die.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting, really.
No,
And
but I think a little, not like thinking differently completely, but I see that there are aspects of our culture that we need to like work on.
Yes.
Because when he said the religions, I think the religions also, they opened up a lot for us, like a knowledge part. They allow us to like research into things and do a lot of things even. But then on the cultural part, if you see like even the historical, past for every culture are not even documented up to today. You only hear Odudu and the rest there, but nobody on the present stage is even interested in doing that. Like even the cultures that some Purubara, like in Kano and the rest there, people don't even want to go near it because they think it's evil.
Thank you,
so
sir.
when you now go and look at those areas there, if you don't document it, then how does it move from that step to another one? So and then again, on the cultural level again, the custodians of the spirits or anything, they also make sure you don't come close to them again. So I think rather that is even the bridge, the fear, the area of fear, because they make sure that you never look at it as somewhere that's accessible. So it's the cultural areas that need to actually grow out of the shells and then start beginning to
indeed, these are questions that need answering, really. And interestingly, the Tana Tunaraja people, a number of them will practice that. Actually, Christians, interestingly enough. But perhaps that's will be another discussion for another day. Thanks so much. And I'd just like to add the little thing about the difference with blacks and all of that. We hear where someone says they are shooting, and we see certain cultures say, run towards it. What's happening? And we hear others say, they are shooting, and they go the other direction.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, that's how we round off the program for today. The only thing left now is to take a look at our wise saying of the day, but that'll be after this. Don't go anywhere. All right, Sifu, can you take that for us, please?
What is that? This?
Yeah.
We'll have to read first.
Okay. Saying that now when visitors shop finish for house, if they remember say rain don't fall finish. Why saying, oh, this is funny. Which means just concentrating, eating, but while the rain is falling, he never remember until his tummy got filled before.
All right, that's how you see it, right?
Yes, that's how I see
Paul,
it.
what do you have?
Oh, I'm still trying to like get there.
No,
really,
if you want to
because-
interpret this, means let me see what I can get there. Wow, it's a deeper one.
Exactly, very deep. That's it, and that's the issue.
So,
'cause
do you have
read-
anything?
Well, if you ask me, I would like say it's like a man would not value like what he has as a very amazing wife and everything at home until he begins to hear praises from outside again that your mother, the mother of your children, has done very well in taking care of this. So I think now the rain that has fallen finish, rain will don't fall finish at least.
Yeah.
Nah, it's as a result of your own children that they see how very, very contributed they have been to the community.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's the
for
love.
me,
Like,
I say that people tend to use other people, and then when they've gotten what they want, then they don't linger. They don't want to waste time. Because I mean, the guest who was eating probably didn't. Maybe the rain stopped falling quite a while ago, but
exactly.
he was waiting. There's this particular video where we see people. Where someone is bringing food, and as a guest, you have to pretend that you're not seeing the food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, turning
You're
your
looking
face
away.
like, "Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Thank you. The food is here."
Yeah.
But then you didn't notice that you had to go till your belly was full. So sometimes people might not see, the need to continue or to continue with niceties and being a human being because they've got what they want. So, really, I think that's part of it.
See, another thing I see there is that you've been with this person for all this while, you never see his dirtiness after you have achieved all. Then when you left, if we now criticize that this person is bad.
Exactly. Like there's this saying in my language that says "Owe kolare banila." That means that it's the ant that has palm oil that people will lick and not the one with blood. If it's bloody, they'll leave it for you basically. And that's where this one is coming from. The visitor is there for the main reason why the visitor even came in the real sense was not because he wanted to see you or anything. It was just for the food. And immediately the rain, probably the rain, but maybe the rain was not even falling. And then that's when it finishes and I need to go out now to go home, literally. And that's what it means, that some people are just like parasites. Once they are there, they are just there to feed off you. And once there's nothing to feed off again,
But I argue that maybe it's not so deep at times because when it's time for Salah, suddenly all our Muslim friends start calling them, "How are you?" And then when it's time for
Christmas,
the reverse,
exactly.
But it all brings people together at the end of the day.
You see, that one is different. I mean, I'm calling you because I'm coming here to your house to come and eat. That's why I'm coming to your house.
But if I may ask you a question, how come all of these sayings or proverbs, how come they linger around these things, tortoise, rabbit? How come they never, no computer, no like satellite inside?
Well, we're working on that. So we're getting urban wise things.
Let's get them at
because culture evolves.
Exactly.
That's where
We'll
you minded me.
We'll get that one for you, definitely. So thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for
this is how we round up the
coming
program for today. Sifu, Patrick,
Thanks so much.
Mohammed.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Exactly.
sorry. And Paul, we're together here. So anyway, thanks so much once again.
Yeah.
I hope next time we can have a fruitful conversation like this as always.
Yeah.
So that's how we round up the program for today. Oh, perhaps I should return this right now. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Or if it dashes,
No,
don't
this
mind.
is how you're supposed to bring it to me.
Oh, okay. Let me do that now. All right. Thank you so much.
God.
Thank you. All right. See you next time. This has been Culture Cove. Every Saturday morning, we come right here on Huge Network. Don't miss out on the next edition. We'll see you next time. Bye for now. I am Amadin Ogbewe.